and the weak suffer what they must? Europe, Austerity, and the Threat to Global Stability, by Yanis Varoufakis. Read by Yanis Varoufakis and Leighton Pugh. Preface.
The Red Blanket. One of my enduring childhood memories is the crackling sound of a wireless hidden under a red blanket in the middle of our living room. Every night, at around 9 I think, Mum and Dad would huddle together under it, their ears straining, bursting with anticipation. Upon hearing the muffled jingle, followed by a German announcer's voice, my 6-year-old boy's imagination would travel from our home in Athens to Central Europe, a mythical place I had not visited yet, except for the tantalizing glimpses offered by an illustrated Brothers Grimm book I had in my bedroom. My family's strange red blanket ritual began in 1967, the inaugural year of Greece's military dictatorship. Deutsche Welle, the German international radio station that my parents were listening to, became our most precious ally against the crushing power of state propaganda at home, a window looking out to faraway democratic Europe. At the end of each of its hour-long special broadcasts on Greece, my parents and I would sit around the dining table while they mulled over the latest news. Not understanding fully what they were talking about, neither bored nor upset me, for I was gripped by a sense of excitement at the strangeness of our predicament, that to find out what was happening in our very own Athens, we had to travel through the airwaves, veiled by a red blanket, to a place called Germany. The reason for the red blanket was a grumpy old neighbor called Grigoris. Grigoris was known for his connections with the secret police, and his penchant for spying on my parents, in particular my dad, whose left-wing past made him an excellent target for an ambitious snitch. After the coup d'etat of 21st April 1967 brought the neo-fascist colonels to power, tuning into Deutsche Welle broadcasts became one of a long list of activities punishable by anything from harassment to torture. Having noticed Grigoris snooping around in our backyard, my parents took no risks. And so it was that the red blanket became our defense from Grigoris's prying ears. During the summers, my parents would use up their annual leave to escape the colonel's Greece for a whole month. We would load up our Black Morris and head to Austria and southern Germany, where, as my father kept saying during the interminable drive, Democrats can breathe. Willy Brandt, the German Chancellor, and a little later Bruno Kreisky, his Austrian counterpart, were discussed as if they were family friends, who also happened to be great champions of isolating our colonels and supporting Greek Democrats. The demeanor of the locals we encountered while holidaying in these German-speaking lands, away from the kitsch neo-fascist aesthetic of the colonel's propaganda, was consistent with our conviction that we, as Greeks abroad, were being bathed in genuine solidarity. When our Morris sadly pattered back into Greece, through border crossings replete with photographs of our mad dictator and symbols of his crazy reign, the red blanket beckoned as our only refuge. A hand shunned. Almost 50 years later, in February 2015, I made my first official visit to Berlin as Greece's finance minister. The Greek economy had collapsed beneath a mountain of debt, and Germany was its main creditor. I was there to discuss what to do about it. My first port of call was, of course, the Federal Ministry of Finance, to meet its incumbent leader, the legendary Dr. Wolfgang Schäuble. To him and his minions, I was a nuisance. Our left-wing government had just been elected, defeating Dr. Schäuble and Chancellor Angela Merkel's allies in Greece, the New Democracy Party. Our electoral platform was, to say the least, an inconvenience for Germany's Christian democratic administration and its plans for keeping the eurozone in order.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?